Let's make pie. Hello, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm making pie, and I thought that I would invite you guys along and we could have a little bit of a conversation. So, first of all, let me just say this is not an instructional video, this is not a DIY. Um, If you want the recipe, I probably can reproduce it, but if you're watching this, you see that I don't really follow a specific recipe. Um, I change it up as I go along. But what I wanted to talk to you about was how things are going. I wanted to check in and just have a little conversation. I like to have someone in the kitchen with me when I'm cooking and have a conversation. And I thought maybe we could do that today. So it's the middle of February and things are going well for me. How are things going for you? Um, I decided to make pie. It's one of the things, cooking is one of the things that I like to do, particularly like to do for my friends and family. It's also a de-stressor for me. Um, it reminds me of the times that I spent with my mother and my sisters and a lot of the women in my family learning to cook. I learned to cook beside them on a step stool at the counter with them. I remember standing on a little step at my aunt's counter making cakes and pies and all kinds of things where little hands could help out. And so whenever I'm doing these kinds of activities, it brings back those memories and I feel close to my loved ones that I share them with, some of whom have passed on. The other thing is it carries on a tradition for me. It maintains that connection um, of mothers and fathers cooking and preparing nutritious foods for their families, preparing treats for birthdays, special meals for special occasions, putting all the love and care into providing something for the ones you care about. Um, it does something, it really does something for me, to my soul. How do you feel about it? Do you like cooking? Do you enjoy being in the kitchen? Um, I like the kitchen and I also like the process of it. Um, I like, starting with raw ingredients or starting with multiple ingredients and putting them together and watching the quote unquote chemistry of it as things come together and they each have their own um, they each have their own part to play in the bigger scheme, and watching that come together and seeing it produce um, something that's total, that's the sum total, the final product. um, it represents the ingredients, but it's different than the initial ingredients, and I like watching that come together, and also um, tweaking it a little bit so that it becomes something of your own. when I'm making food for my family and friends, um, my intentions are that the food will provide health and healing, um, and even protection to them. Um, do you set intentions when you're cooking? I think it's important that we do that, that we set our intentions. Um, if you are like me, and I don't know what your tradition is, but in my tradition that I grew up in, we were told to beware of whose food you eat. You don't eat any and everybody's food because everybody's intentions are not good. And if you've heard that um, kind of that saying before, I'd like to know. But I put my intentions in my food. I want the people who eat my food to enjoy it, to get pleasure from it, but I also want it to be something that provides them with health, um, and well-being. So you probably noticed that there are a few pauses um, in the voiceover in this recording, and that's because I want you to hear the sounds of the cooking, and they're in the background as well, but just have some without voice on them. The the sounds for me are part of the experience, and it's very relaxing and soothing to me. The sounds in the kitchen, it like I said, it reminds me of my mom, of home, of care, and of love, and all of the things that I want to put into um, my cooking. So another thing that I wanted to add to this conversation is self-care. What are you doing to take care of yourself? Are you prioritizing taking care of yourself? Um, the first part of the conversation was all about taking care of my family and doing for my family, and putting in that love and care and protection into the foods that I prepare for them. But now I'm talking about taking care of me, taking care of you. What are you doing to take care of yourself? What are your self-care actions, your self-care rituals? I have to say that honestly, I often forget to take care of myself. I will find that I am tired, um, that I haven't eaten, or um, that I haven't been exercising. Um, and it kind of catches me by surprise sometimes. And I have to think about, what have I done? What have I, done to take care of me? And I've gotten away from some of the routine things that I used to do for myself before everything that's going on now. I used to go, I used to I had a friend that I used to go and walk with once a week. We had a standing walking date. Um, and I don't do that anymore because, we're not hanging out with people like that anymore. I also had a standing massage appointment that I used to do at least once a month, and canceled that because we're not, we're safer at home. Um, and to be honest, I'm I'm afraid a little bit. Um, I'm afraid of going out and doing things, and so I've been spending a lot more time at home. But a lot of my self-care routine was not at home. And so, I have to ask myself, so if I'm not doing those things that I used to do to take care of myself, what things am I doing now? Um, and I ask you to think about that. What things are you doing to take care of yourself? And for me, the answer is getting outside every day, rain or shine, for at least 15 to 20 minutes, if not longer, um, just to get some vitamin D, um, just to experience nature, just to get outside of my house. So that's one thing that I try to do. Another thing that I've been doing is spending more time with my dog. You probably hear her whining a little bit in the background because I'm not paying her the attention that she thinks she deserves at this moment. Um, but spending more time with my dog, and when things change and we can spend more time outside of the house and with friends, I'm going to maintain that because she deserves that care and attention, and she gives it back unconditionally. Another thing that I do for myself is just basic spending basic time. I call it basic, but um, taking a shower, and lighting a candle, um, using fragrances that I enjoy when I do that, putting on lipstick, even though I'm not going anywhere. Sometimes just the act of putting on some lipstick or some fragrance really, lightens my soul, and it makes me feel cared for. So what are some of the things that you do for yourself? Um, every little thing that you do for yourself matters. You deserve to be taken care of. What do you do for you? And you deserve to spend some time and make yourself a priority. And I have found that with me, um, sometimes I forget. And that's part of the reason I started this channel, because I wanted to share those things that I do for me, like cooking, that I do for the family, but I also enjoy it, and painting and gardening, um, are things that that bring joy to my life, and I think that you should do things that bring joy to your life as well. So we're coming up to the end of this video. I'm about to take the pie out of the oven and show you the final product. I hope you enjoyed visiting with me and having this conversation. Thanks for stopping by, and if you liked it, come back and see me again. Bye now.